Hello everyone, welcome back to LewisFiction and welcome to another episode of Spider-Man, the new animated series. This is episode 3. If you have not seen the previous 2 episodes, make sure you go back and watch them before you watch this, as nothing will make sense. But if you are caught up but for some reason aren't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you are subscribed because we're so close to 5,000 subscribers. I know we can hit that goal in the next couple of weeks. Let's go for it. Let's push for it. I know we can do it. With that said, let's get straight into the episode. We kick off this episode as we are reintroduced to the character of Harry Osborn. As we know at this point in the series, Peter has started to distance himself from Mary Jane and Harry. However, I wanted to dedicate a portion of episode 3 to catching up with the character of Harry Osborn. It's a cold, rainy night, and Harry sits at his desk in Oscorp Tower, looking over the countless files of paperwork, bills, and taxes. Harry, since his father's death, is trying to make his way through college, whilst also trying to partially run one of the biggest companies in New York City. The lighting will be dull, and the shadows will be prominent too, to represent Harry's discomfort in having to continue his father's work and his father's legacy. We will also get the sense that Harry has the impossible task to live up to one of the greatest scientists to ever grace the United States. We will zoom in on a picture of Norman and Harry from a few years back before his death. Harry will look towards it for inspiration, but nothing will come to him. The company's value, no matter what he does, is constantly decreasing. We then cut to a meeting with the board of directors and Harry Osborn. They threaten to take Oscorp from him. However, Harry says that's all he has left of his father. They will have to take Oscorp from his dead body. This is when the board of directors and Harry come to an agreement to shut down some of the sectors of Oscorp Industries to make more leeway for profit margins. However, this means that a bunch of employees will be laid off. One of those employees, however, is a man called Gargan. We will follow this character as it is revealed that he will no longer be working at Oscorp. This comes as a surprise to Mac. This is when it's revealed that Mac also has a family to provide for and bills to pay. But being laid off by Oscorp, which was already a high-paying job, means that he won't be able to afford anything that he's currently got. A wave of anger will come over Mac, and there's only one man to blame. The man at the top of the chain, the man that makes all of the decisions, Harry Osborn. We will then cut to Peter as he walks through the college campus and out into the streets of New York. These first couple of scenes in this episode will be here to represent and showcase the city's distaste for Spider-Man. Spider-Man's inevitable return in the last episode has sparked a brand new hatred for the Wallcrawler, and as we follow Peter through the streets, we will see random civilians and billboards with news reporters on them constantly covering the return of Spider-Man. And not only that, we cut to a news segment with Officer Barr as he calls for Spider-Man's arrest. He is put on top priority for the NYPD, and if anyone is to see him, he is to be arrested on sight. Peter looks down. He feels a sense of regret. And once again, he gets flashes of Indy. The constant reminder of what he did as Spider-Man that day will be a burden to his every thought. Every single person that mentioned the word Spider-Man would remind Peter of that day, the day that Indy unfortunately passed away. Peter's brain would have second thoughts. Was Spider-Man's return the right thing to do? Of course it was. With great power comes great responsibility, he would tell himself. But there's this constant mental struggle that Peter is constantly going through, and we will continue to remind the audience of this here. Peter would then make his way to Alchemax, where we would be reintroduced to Gwen Stacy and Eddie Brock. After the attack on Alchemax, Eddie has made a full recovery as Peter asks if he's okay. Eddie will say he's fine, it was nothing in the end. Eddie will then express his concern for the attack on Alchemax by the Vulture. Peter would tell Eddie that it's probably just a case of a guy goes crazy and wants what he doesn't have. However, Eddie will be a little bit more free thinking on the matter. He will say possibly, but he believes it goes a little bit deeper than that. Peter will ask why, and Eddie will say Tyler has been acting really weird ever since the attack. And that's when Gwen joins the conversation as she walks over to them. She will say, of course he's been acting weird. If you were kidnapped by a deranged lunatic, wouldn't you be acting a little shook up the weeks after? And Eddie says, I guess so. He'll say either way he's going to keep an eye on it as he gets back to work. Peter and Gwen catch up as they walk over to their station, as Eddie watches begrudgingly from the corner of his eye. Once again, this scene will display a high level of chemistry between Peter and Gwen. They bounce off each other really well, and it's clear they've become very close friends very quickly. And it also seems like in this scene, Gwen is sort of trying to make a move on Peter. However, with Spider-Man back in the picture, Peter has second thoughts. Would it be right to get close with Gwen? Is it right for him to be around her at all? This constant back and forth dilemma and mental struggle with the people that Peter cares about will be the main theme throughout this first few episodes, and I really want to home in on this fact as well. Spider-Man is back in the picture, and because of that, any relationships that Peter had formed in the last 6 months or so leading up to Spider-Man's return are now starting to pay the price of Peter's inner struggle. Peter will be slightly more distant because of this, and Gwen will start to pick up on it. As their conversation carries on, from the corner of the room, Eddie tries to enter the store cupboard. However, it's locked. Eddie shouts over to Gwen to ask if she knows where the store cupboard key is, and Gwen says that she has no idea. Eddie frustratingly grits his teeth as he makes his way to the elevator to go and pay a visit to Tyler Stone to try and find the key. As he makes his way to his office, he knocks on the door and cranks it open slightly, asking if Tyler has a minute. However, Eddie walks in on something strange. All the blinds and curtains are shut, creating a dark and ominous tone to the room. Tyler is sat at the back of the room, with a shadow cast over him, but opposite him is sat a man. Eddie assumes he's walked in on a meeting and apologizes, as the man who was sat opposite Tyler swivels his head, suddenly giving Eddie a dirty look. But this also allows the audience to get a good look at the man as well. This is no ordinary man. We have seen this man before. As the audience, we recognize him from the start of the episode. This is Mac Gargan. Unknown as to what's going on, Eddie will give an apologetic smirk as he shuts the door, leaving the two to the meeting. Eddie frowns as he returns back to the floor that he works at. We then cut back to Oscorp, and to Harry Osborn, who is on the phone to Mary Jane. MJ is telling Harry about how Peter didn't show up for her show, and she doesn't know what's going on with him. Harry will tell MJ that he doesn't know either. Peter is just being a jerk. He'll say that he has his mysterious tendencies, but what he's been doing recently has just been simply out of order. He barely even speaks to them anymore. MJ will ask Harry how it's going at Oscorp, and Harry will say that he regrets the layoffs, but it had to be done. Trying to run his father's company and also attend college is really taking a toll on him. Either way, Harry says he can take his mind off things tonight as he reveals to MJ that he's actually got a date. MJ will ask who the lucky girl is, and Harry will say it's a girl called Felicia. She actually works at Oscorp. As Harry puts the phone down, we cut to him meeting up with Felicia outside of Oscorp Industries. Harry presents her with some flowers. Felicia, a girl with long whitish silverish hair and big dark brown eyes, smirks towards Harry as she appreciates the sentiment. She'll take them from Harry and will say that's sweet, but she isn't a flower girl. This takes Harry back slightly, as he says that she won't be disappointed by the restaurant that they're going to be going to tonight, in typical and classic confident Harry Osborn fashion. However, as they were about to leave, as the limousine pulls up outside of Oscorp Industries, a tall man in a green armoured plated scorpion costume with a tail the size of a car and a stinger on the end the size of a human head approaches them at rapid speed, screaming out Harry's name. As Harry freezes in the middle of the street, Felicia panickingly ushers Harry into the limousine as she shouts for the driver to step on it. The driver pulls off as a chase sequence commences through New York City. The man in the green scorpion outfit, who Felicia and Harry simply refer to as the Scorpion, chases them through the city streets. As fast as the driver could go, it didn't matter, because the exosuit of the Scorpion seems to be enough to be able to keep up with the limo. The Scorpion jumps on top of the limousine and sticks his stinger through the top of the roof, and with an agonizing sound, he rips it open, creating a hole in the roof of the car. Harry shouts out, asking, "What do you want?" And the Scorpion will say, "I want you." He tells Harry that he ruined his life, and Harry says, "I don't even know who you are." Felicia looks around as the Scorpion is distracted with Harry. Seeing no other option, she reaches over the driver's shoulder and yanks the steering wheel to one side, flinging the Scorpion off the side of the car and into a building. Harry's eyes widen as he looks over to Felicia, saying, "Good job." We then cut back to Peter, Eddie, and Gwen, who are coming to the end of the day at Alchemax. There is about half an hour left to work when Peter sees on his phone that something is going downtown near Oscorp Industries. Amateur photos and videos emerge of the Scorpion and Harry Osborn. Peter's eyes widen. Harry, he'll think to himself. Peter will tell Eddie and Gwen that he's actually forgot he's got this really important dentist appointment that he can't miss in about half an hour, so he'll have to leave now. He'll make sure to make up the hours another day. Peter leaves as Eddie and Gwen appear confused, as we get a montage of him changing into his Spider-Man suit. We then cut back to Harry, Felicia, and the Scorpion. It doesn't take long until the Scorpion catches back up and makes his way back up to the top of the roof. However, this time he's joined by someone else, none other than Spider-Man, as he swings in, kicking the Scorpion off the roof of the car and into another building. Spider-Man lands, as he says, first the Vulture and now the Scorpion. The animal kingdom is really thriving recently. He'll say, "Who put you up to this? Craven?" The Scorpion will simply look up as he gets back to his feet, and under his breath will say, "Murderer." as he goes to attack Spider-Man. The Scorpion and Spider-Man will engage in battle as the Scorpion tries to get towards Harry, but Spider-Man is stopping him. Spider-Man will ask the Scorpion what he wants with Harry Osborn, and the Scorpion will say he took everything from him. Spider-Man will say if he had $1 for every time a supervillain had said something like that, he'd actually be a millionaire. You're gonna have to be more specific. The Scorpion will say that Harry Osborn laid him off, and now him and his family can't afford basic necessities, food, water, electricity, everything. It's all Harry Osborn's fault. Spider-Man will sarcastically say this is a dispute that probably should end up in court. But you know, illegally attacking him also works, of course, I guess. This will enrage Scorpion more as he carries on battling Spider-Man. It will be a tough fought battle as the Scorpion's tail poses to be a formidable weapon for Spider-Man. During the battle, however, Peter will start to subconsciously make more connections between the Scorpion and the Vulture. There's something about the suit, the exoskeletons, and the armor and weaponry that seems very similar. Either way, Peter will come out on top and web the Scorpion up for the cops to take care of. However, when Officer Barr arrives on the scene, he will shoot at Spider-Man on sight, as Spider-Man escapes into the night. We will then cut back to Harry Osborn, who apologizes to Felicia for what happened. Felicia will say it's fine. It was the most unique first date that she's ever had. Harry will laugh it off and say they'll arrange another date, maybe something slightly more classy this time, as he drops Felicia off at home. Spider-Man will look over the city as another day comes to a close. He had to intervene again, but no doubt that doesn't bode well for him in the media. He saved the day. He saved his best friend, if you could call him that. Peter knows he's been a jerk, but it's for reasons like these that he can't be close to him. He can't be close to MJ. He can't be close to anyone. And with that, we come to the end of episode 3. Thank you for watching episode 3 of Spider-Man the New Animated Series Season 2. If you did enjoy, make sure to like on it and also make sure to subscribe if you are new, because like I said, we're so close to 5,000 subscribers on this channel, so make sure to subscribe. I know we can push for that goal. Also, make sure to hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you do not miss episode 4, which will be coming out next Sunday. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care and peace.